full spectrum.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of RollPlay for Verona, episode number 15, in fact, unless I'm mistaken, which I could be, but I think it's episode 15. Hello. Hello and welcome, everybody. How are we doing? How's it going?
Great. Ask us what we were talking about before the show started.
No, I don't want to hear about that anymore. No.
Guess what, Shep? Constipated hedgehogs.
Yeah, listen. So before we went live, everybody except Anne and okay, you know what? It was Bronze and it was Max, and they were just talking about gross pet stuff, and I don't care about it. It's like listening to somebody talk about their baby. I don't care, and it's gross. I don't care about it. So Anne and Mark, thank you for not contributing to that. Bronze, I hear you're not very good at Pathfinder. Let's start there. How's that going for you?
The hard difficulty, the AC is too high, and I keep missing, and it's not.
Have you considered making the game easier so that way someone of your caliber of gaming could play it?
The AC is too
you gotta
damn
laugh at
high.
JP.
Yeah, JP laughed at that. That was good.
Because Max started this like off stream, this slander. Oh, your grill, you have a gene that makes you bad at the pens and the papers.
I said no such thing. I said, have you considered consulting a DM friend? Maybe somebody who understands the mechanics of that game better?
Yeah, Bronze, if you could just find someone who's familiar with tabletop role-playing games, like some kind of real gamer, and ask them, that might be helpful to you if you knew someone like that. They
I've heard Anne is a top gamer.
Top gamer, CNBC. That's me.
Yeah. She can help me get better at Pathfinder.
Yeah.
No, I can't. I don't even know what that is.
Talk more about that, Bron. So why did you choose? Because I think this is important. This is important for this kind of game. Why did you choose to play on hard? Like, what was your motivation for that?
Because I wanted to have to make. Okay, I wanted my choices to be more meaningful. You know, when someone's like, "Oh, like, you know, you can either fight these guys or reason with them." Reasoning with them is like, okay, let's say, because I'm not playing like a good party, obviously, right? Like, I'm playing like,
no,
yeah. So, like, abandoning the option to parlay with them in favor of fighting them means more if you know they can kick your ass, right? In my opinion.
Interesting. Okay.
And
I mean,
that's why
it's a leap of logic, but I understand where you're coming from. Yeah. Okay. I would not have thought about that, but all right. Okay.
Yeah, because that's how I played Baldur's Gate too. It's like, oh, this dude talks shit to me. Well, I'm not gonna take that. Fight me, you know. And then he whoops your ass, and you're like, oh, respawn, fight me again, you know. And that means something.
That's the thing, though. Like, I think if you're doing all this reloading, it kind of takes away the me, because you're like, fight me, and then you get your ass kicked, and you're like, well, reload, fight me again, and I'll just keep doing this until I win. So it's like
that or run, or you know, I don't know. It makes maybe the reloading does hurt the narrative now that you mention it.
Yeah, kind sort of. Yeah.
But it's all rematch. See, yeah, but it's also like you have to. I don't know. I feel like I have to tread more carefully. Of like, you know what? I'm not gonna tell you to go suck a D. I'm also not gonna tell you're my friend. I'm going to try to pass this diplomacy roll, and it's going to mean something, because if it fails, you're going to whop me and wipe my party.
Right. So you feel like you're forced to take the diplomatic route because you're afraid, because you're not just like steamrolling the bad guys.
Yes.
Interesting. Okay. Even though you have infinite lives and you can just steamroll them anyway, you just have to keep trying.
But in my head, I don't feel that way.
Yeah.
So I'm
Okay.
like,
Sure.
oh,
Yes.
man.
You're maintaining a linear narrative in your head, even though that's not the reality of playing the game. Okay, that's fair.
I'm
That's all
really
right.
good
I'm
at
into
make
that.
believe. We all
Yeah.
are, right?
I
That's
mean,
why we do this. We're just a
some of
bunch
us
of make
are.
believers.
Some of us are good at make believe. Max is also here.
Wow.
Poor Max.
It doesn't even faze me because I saw that coming like 10 seconds ago. I'm like, here comes Adam saying about the game.
That's what makes it so good. Is I don't even do it to.
Made me look like a fool on a public forum.
I don't even do these things to like try to make get a rise out of Max.
Why do you
we've been
sound
doing-
like an Elcor?
Because I
I've
love
been doing this
Elcor.
way too long, and yeah, it's very predictable, and Max knows exactly when it's coming. It's good shit. Thank you, Max. Thank you for that.
Dejectedly.
Listen, our comedy duo has evolved over time. It used to be, let me say a mean thing about Max, and we can all laugh at him, and now it's like we're doing it together. Now Max knows, he understands. Well, good luck with your hard difficulty playthrough. I am not going to be the asshole that suggests how to fix this problem. You're allowed to just have the problem and complain about it. That's okay.
I'll lower the AC. Fine.
Yeah, you could do that. That would be an option.
So you're a quitter, is what you're saying?
Wow.
I'm a quitter.
You know what?
Me.
Embrace it. Live that quitter life. There's a puzzle early on in that fucking game where you have to raise some swords and lower some swords. And I did it once and I was like, cool, I did it. And they're like, yeah, you do it again though. There's another room. And I was like, no, fuck this. I'm not doing it. I refuse. I don't even want to try. I'm leaving the room. And chat's like, no, but there's another room. And I'm like, not for me, there isn't.
This is a game of choice.
That's right. I am choosing.
That's how I.
Not.
That's how I felt about what's it called? Some of the puzzle stuff in Spider-Man. It wasn't that it was difficult. It was just like, motherfucker, I don't want to do this right now. Like, why don't you lead the energy pattern this way? It's like we've done this so many times. Still a good game, but that pissed me off. You can hear the music creeping up too. It's like this ER fucking game music of like. You're like, here it comes. Here it comes. Oh God, there's a degradation in the energy pad. Fuck! Like
It's funny the like difference because every time one of those like patterns came up, the things with the little circuit, every time I was just like, ooh, mini game. Excited. Puzzle. Great.
Me
here
too.
we go.
I was like,
yeah,
puzzle!
and Max is just like, fuck this.
I did that with the matching ones because I like the matching ones better. I got bored with the routing ones because those ones are like they're not super difficult, but sometimes they can make you overthink. And that's how I hate puzzles. I hate puzzles that make me like overthink stuff, and I look stupid because I thought the solution was more complicated than it actually was. And everyone's like, "Ha, you're dumb." Like, okay,
I hate that.
cool. Awesome.
That's
I
the
guess I'm
worst.
dumb.
That's the worst.
Yeah.
Especially like when people confuse not understanding a game mechanic for not understanding the game. Where it's like, oh, well, clearly the solution is to pick that up. And it's like, but I didn't know you could pick it up. It's like, well, you're dumb because clearly you just picked that up and put it there. But I didn't know it was an object you could interact with, you know?
Yeah. But you should have. You should have been prescient. You should have known that in advance. Yeah. Yeah. Because how dare you? So, like, what I love about this, because this is a thing, like puzzles in games as a broadcaster sitting there. And for me, at least, like, I'm like, okay, I could try this. And then a few minutes in, I'm like, I'm still not getting this. Okay, I'm going to keep trying. And a few minutes later, I'm like, oh, I don't know how this works at all. Everybody knows I don't know how it works. And I look like an asshole. And then I'm like, nah, fuck this. But what's fun is doing this in a tabletop because we just finished doing the Tomb of Annihilation and it's full of stupid ass puzzles. But if you're the dungeon master and you know all the answers to the puzzles already and you're just sitting there in chat watching everybody squirm, it's a completely different experience. I love puzzles when I don't have to do them and I already know the answer, which I guess is what chat feels like because they're just sitting there like, I looked it up on the wiki. You're still an idiot. Did you get it yet? You get it?
Yeah, that's the thing. No. They'll like watch some other streamer do it, and then they come to your channel, and then they feel like they're very smart because they know how it works. But it's like, you watch someone else do it.
I watched like, Ko do this an hour ago, and I'm smarter than you because of that. Because I was doing that.
Telling me that people like feeling superior on the internet. No.
I guess that's what it is ultimately. Though there's the inverse is true where watching someone struggle through something and then seeing them succeed finally and that moment, like sharing that moment of joy. I watched Zeke doing a puzzle game. He was doing a point and click adventure game. He was playing Sam and Max Hit the Road. And there's a part in that where basically everyone gets stuck because it's bullshit and the solution is not like easily accessible, and there's no way you would think to do it unless you just randomly like wandered over to a part of the starting screen. And I watched him and I was like, oh, this is the part Zeke is at. I hate this part. And I watched him struggle for like 10 minutes. And when he finally got it and he threw off his headphones in that combination of rage that you never knew how to do it in the first place and success that you got and storm out of the room, I was just like, yes, that feeling. I know that feeling. So that I think there's some value in that at least.
That was like me with Psycho Mantis and Metal Gear Solid 1. And you have to switch your controller ports. And I was like, there's no way. Wait. And then I like switched the controller ports. I was like, I was more angry than I was like happy, where I was like, why would you think of this so dumb? And our chat was like, finally. I was like, that's the dumbest. You gotta switch your control. How are you supposed to know?
Yeah, that's a classic. Puzzles and video games, man.
Yeah,
it's one thing when you're on your own, you're just playing at home, and you're the only person to embarrass yourself. And you got like 1,000 people who are like, at first, so he's gonna get it. He'll get it. He's almost there. He's gonna, and then those people leave. Everybody else is like, "Are you still doing this? What the hell?"
Yeah,
which is like it's fine. It's fine. We aim to be entertaining, and sometimes it's at the cost of our own dignity.
Yeah. I think a lot of people fail to realize. I always like to remind people that I'm like, when you're at home watching, like you said, they saw somebody else, but even when you're just playing the game on your own, you don't have a large amount of people just watching you going like, do it. Are you going to do it? You still haven't done it. Like no one's there tapping you on the shoulder to be like, except for maybe like one person, like your sibling. You're like, shut up.
Yeah. My little brother 100% did that. He'd sit on the fucking other end of the couch with the game guide and be like, no, that's not how you do it. No, you're not. Finish him. The guy says finish him. Do the finisher. And I'm like,
that is one of those things that when people are like streaming's not that hard. Come on, you play video games for. That's one of the aspects of streaming where I'm like, go ahead, go try streaming. Enjoy that part.
Yeah.
Report
That's one
back.
of the things I envy about like YouTube, because they can cut out all the parts where they didn't know how to do the thing, and they can make it seem like it happened instantaneously.
Sometimes some people on YouTube can make them seem like they're funny when they're not.
Did you just point at me? Is that what you were doing? You were pointing at me?
Directly at you. No, I'm just kidding. No, I pointed at the camera.
Yeah, it's a whole fucking thing. Yeah. So some of us have been trying to do puzzles on the internet in front of an audience. How's your shit going, Mark? I saw you made a new monster. So you made a new monster for Dungeons and Dragons.
Just capitalized on that meme. Capitalized on the meme.
It's good.
Yeah, it's been okay. The video games discussion, like these days I've accepted that I play all games on easy. Like if like Spider-Man, I was like, easy difficulty? Yeah, sure, sign me up. I'm not playing this to impress anybody. I'm playing this for fun. Boop. And then I just play it on easy mode now because I'm dumb and I'm bad at games and I just want to have fun. So I just do that. And then
I was saying I'm with you. I go on normal like most of the time.
Yeah, I used to do a lot of normal, and now I'm just like Spider-Man. I just was like, I'm just gonna put this on easy, and I'm gonna turn off the quick time events because, man, I can't be bothered with this.
I love quick time events. I love them, and God help me, I think they're so fun, and I don't know why, and I know nobody else likes them, but I love them. They're like my favorite. A quick time event comes up, and I'm like, oh shit, yeah, I know what button to push. That's an X. This is the X one. I press that one. I love that shit.
I like them in
like that.
I don't know. I just think it's so fun.
I do too. I like it too, but it's so funny because like it's not the typical response that I would think. Like if somebody had like a questionnaire about you, Adam, and be like, does Adam like quick time events? I'd be like, no, he doesn't. He thinks that they're forced down his throat. He thinks they're a corny way to like.
I love them. It's like playing Simon. It's like red, blue, blue. Red, blue, blue, green. I'm like, yeah, I got it. I remembered it. I feel like a toddler. It's so fun. And they're
I
so
like
simple
them in,
and
like,
rewarding.
big cinematic bits, but with the problem with Spider-Man is you just end up doing some of the same ones over and over again. Like you do like all the crime stuff, and you're just like, oh yeah, stop the car, mash square again. And like the big cinematic ones were fun. I also totally got to the point that I think Anne, you mentioned last week about the stupid floating island trope, and they do it twice in Spider-Man, and it's like
They do it like 3
Yeah.
times. Yeah, they keep doing it, and I'm just like, you guys are
That
just
came up.
mashing this idea to death.
That came
So
up right
bad.
after you told me about that and warned me about that. And as it came up, I was like, fuck, here it is. It's a dumb one too. You're like revisiting an area you've already been in Dream World. And it's so stupid. And like we're just going around in the same spot while he's like, by the way, do you remember this Spider-Man? You couldn't help them. Like, it's stupid as fuck.
Yep. Exactly.
Well, I'm just gonna need a minute to rewrite my whole set of notes for today's episode. Everyone really hates that kind. Because I was gonna be like, Booker Greaves, you wake up and you're only 24 years old, and you're on a planet and you got a gun and there's synths everywhere, and you couldn't save them, Booker. Yeah, it's formulaic and boring as shit. It's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
I think there's only one game that kind of made it work, and that was the Scarecrow
X-Men.
segments and Batman, and that's because it's Scarecrow.
That makes
You know?
sense.
Yeah,
It was like one of
if
the
it's
early
any
ones, I
other
think.
character, if it was any other character, it'd be so stupid. But that's like his whole thing, right? So outside of Scarecrow, not okay.
Yeah. Well, in Spider-Man they had, and I don't know if this is gonna be a spoiler, so sorry in advance if it is.
Oh God, what are you gonna say?
Well, he gets like stabbed by Scorpion, right?
Oh yeah.
So like that kind of makes sense, I guess. But they already did it like 3 times, so I was just kind of like, oh, it's too much, you know.
Yeah.
And like QuickTime events for me, I hate them because I'm bad at them. Because every time it's always on controllers, and they're always just like hit the X, and I hit it, and then I'm like, wait, but it's X on Xbox controller is different from X on PS4 controller, and I don't like controllers in general, so I'm just like, I don't know. So I just pressed the wrong button.
I had that exact problem. I had that exact problem with Yakuza 0, where I was so used to using a PlayStation 4 controller for so long, and then I was playing on my Xbox controller. I'm like, X and Y are in the wrong place, and now I'm all fucked up. And every time I was trying to do karaoke, I pressed the button, and chat would be like, Adam, that's not that button. I'm like, it's in that place, and it's colored wrong on the screen, and get out of my house. Oh, I hate it.
The most egregious offense was Shadow of Mordor, where you spend that whole time doing all these awesome combat scenes, and then the main boss is like 2 quick events, and then it's over.
I am always in favor of spoiling that as the end of that game, because it's been out forever and it fucking sucks. And you play. That's not
the laziest ending.
It's not a good way to end a game, where you get to the last encounter, you get to the big fucking finale, and it's like, obviously this is not the part of the game where you kill Sauron. Like, we have read The Lord of the Rings. We know he's still around. Like, that's not how it goes. But it's like, cool, you get a 6-part QuickTime event, and then you're done. And it's like, it was a 10-second boss fight, and that is,
After it ended, I was just like, is that it? That's how this ends? Really? Like, we're not even gonna kind of fight him a little bit? Like, that sucks.
Yeah, you're about to go into the last fight. You're about to go into the last fight, and the devs call you on your phone. You pick up your phone, and they're like, "That's it. It's over. The game's over. We're phoning it in. We're done."
We ran out of time, so
the credits are just rolling. And you're like, "Oh, I thought we were gonna fight Sauron. No, okay, that's fine. That's cool. Have a good life, Sauron. That's cool." Man, that one, I will never forget that. Like, as long as I live, it is a thorn of pure spite buried deeply in my heart. I can't stand it.
I have a couple of those thorns. One is Mirror's Edge is ending. Anybody I think who's played the ending of that game is just like, that's not an ending. That's just you plugging the next game, you bastards. I've never been that upset. And they're playing the music like, I'm still alive, and trying to be cinematic, and it's like, nothing even happened. The whole end is a plug for the next game. I hate you. And they're trying to play this like emotional music. I was like, I don't feel emotional. I feel pissed off right now.
It is pretty great that they try you. There's this dip, right, where you're playing the game. The ending is really bad, and then the credits are like kind of self-congratulatory. It's kind of like, what an awesome game that was. Here's the cinematic music. Here's the credits. You should be feeling things about this. And you're like, no, hold on. You didn't earn this.
Basically.
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah. Yeah. It's almost like ending things is hard. Like trying
It
to
is.
come to like a cohesive ending. I would love to see these people try to end a role-playing game campaign because you want to compare difficult and easy. Jesus Christ. I could write the ending of a video game because you only have to write one and you don't have 5 other people trying to get theirs. Man.
Sometimes no ending is a great ending, like Samurai Champloo, or even like kind of like Cowboy Bebop, you know, where so much of it is just kind of
Sopranos.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think if you do it on purpose and intentionally, maybe. Like, I don't know, man. Tell that to everybody who watched Swan Song. We ended that fucker twice and people still weren't happy. So, you know what? It's
Just kill them all, Adam.
No.
When do they
Winning.
die? How many children do they have? Do these 2 characters eventually hook up? What are their children
Yeah,
like?
basically, I feel like
How many
basically
adventures
you
do their
just
children go on?
you just need to go to black and then just have a headshot of the author being like, all right, here you go. Everybody that you wanted to fuck, they fuck everybody else that you wanted to fuck. Everyone who you wanted to die, they're dead now. Everyone you want to stay alive, they're alive and their life is great in whatever way you imagined it being great. The fucking end. Get out. That's how I'm ending this campaign. I'm just gonna be like, listen, I don't care how it ends. You just figure it out. Yeah.
We
Choose your
all
own
go
adventure.
to the Grey Haven.
Yeah.
Yeah,
was-
that's right.
Not like that, how you described it. That was like a trope that they used a lot in the 90s, like 90s movies. It would just like, the movie would end and then it would be like, and Matt hooked up with such and such.
Oh,
And then
yeah.
Oh,
such
yeah,
and
the, like,
such
text on
ended
the
up doing
screen.
this. And then I'm like, what the fuck? Like,
Mhm. Yeah, you just John Harper that shit and be like, imagine the best ending. That's the ending of the thing. It's over. Yeah. 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 I haven't seen a movie that ended like that in a while though. That like
it's been a while.
black
Yeah,
and
got rid of
that
it.
black and white picture of the person and then like text. They usually do it on movies that are like based on real life. So they'll have a picture
Yeah.
of the actor and then a
Yeah,
picture of the real person and be like, in
Yeah,
real life,
yeah.
this is what happened to that person. They live in Delaware now.
Yeah, I think the whole point is supposed to be like for people who didn't realize it was based off of like a real person. They go, oh, like it's a real person.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I do like with those endings that you get to see the person the actor is based on and be like, they do
Yeah.
look exactly the same. That's amazing. Or like,
Yeah,
why
when
did they
they're pretty
cast
similar,
this
yeah.
person?
Mhm. Yeah, I do. I've done that. I've done the oh. That's why I know about it. Someone else say something
Thank you
now.
for that, Max. No, I'm still digesting the noise you just made. That was good. Yeah.
Too good to leave
Good.
hanging.
Yeah, that was nice. Thank you. Oh, I miss you guys. This is great. I like these kind of like unstructured goof off sessions before we get to play. It does actually help warm up. So that's nice. I feel ready. Anne, do you have anything to share? I haven't specifically asked you. How have you been? What have you been up to?
Great. No, nothing. I don't know.
Perfect.
That's it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Great and nothing.
Badass Millennium
Great.
Falcon.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Look at that
Nice.
thing.
Super
Did
nice
you
case.
is your lighting different? Did you reorganize? Is something different? Because yeah,
So,
I never noticed that Millennium Falcon
this used to be just horizontal, sitting on top of this box over my shoulder, and I was like, "This is not displaying this in its full
No,
glory. Like you don't
that's
you don't
much
get a
better.
sense of how big it is when it's just sitting like that." So I bought this acrylic case, and I bought tiny LEDs that you can buy for Lego projects specifically. So I posted a couple of pictures on Twitter that I actually wired. Like you can see kind of a little bit right there.
A little blue
There's some
light.
light.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see a little bit of it.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and then on the back,
Wow.
like the hyperdrive, of course, has like lights in it and everything. So
So
This is especially cool to me because I just saw Solo for the first time last night. So I'm like,
Mm.
yeah, Millennium Falcon.
yeah, so I'm very happy with it. It's nice. It's just gonna be a bitch to move that thing because the acrylic scratches like instantly if you just like touch it. So,
Oh yeah, you breathe on it wrong, and then it's just like clouded.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
so we'll see.
Well, just don't ever move it. Just leave it where
Yeah.
it is forever, and you'll be fine.
One solution.
Yeah, I like how Bronze while Ann was talking about that, you're like, I'm gonna take down my green screen so everyone see my cool stuff. Get through an
I
episode,
just
got
felt
it.
self-conscious because I was the only one with the green screen, and it drew attention to it because I was like, "Oh, everyone's looking at Anne's background. Anne has a cool background. It has a spaceship in it. Max has a cool background. Max's has a spaceship.
Mine is not cool. I make you think it's cool. It's boring as fuck. I just have shadows of things that are cool.
But
That's it.
I think that's
That's the
cool. That's so
illusion.
creative.
That's gonna be the name of your autobiography, Max. The shadow of things that were cool.
I was like, I don't have spaceships. I just have, I don't know, thick thighs.
Yeah,
and-
She-Hulk. Yeah, that's all. That's all I need.
Yeah.
That's
I
all you
don't
need.
want to do.
Yeah.
I don't want to do an episode if She-Hulk's not there. That's it.
Fucking love
right?
No, I have my cyberpunk statue. I was talking about how I have a Lego Slave 1, and then I also talked about how I put my cyberpunk statue here, and somebody in my chat said, "Wait, you have a statue of a slave girl?" And I was like, "No, that is not what I said." It's like, please don't misconstrue this statue behind me. That's
The
not what I
NBC's
said.
top gamer AnneMunition supports slave girls.
Like,
Well,
no,
I
that would be
mean,
so
in
good
a
if it was
role
girls, too.
play setting, don't we all?
Okay,
kind of
she's trying to defend her
slaves?
hench people. Uh-huh.
that.
Okay.
Yeah,
alright.
I see how it is.
Follow up to
Yeah.
the
All right. So
original.
we
She's
begin.
try- yeah.
We begin today's episode, and now the Amira's servant is crouched over the bathtub, scrubbing her shoes. But this time, she's wearing a bronze bikini, and yeah. So there you go. Context shift. Yeah.
Great. Let's
Yeah.
do this.
Cool. One quick thing, Max. As a follow up to Court of Swords, and some Court of Swords bonus content for as a follow up to a Court of Swords pre-show. I got an ad on my Instagram feed today, a teen for $350, and I don't know if
Wow.
like, they're listening to me or
Wow.
what. But I
that's
got an
definitely
Instagram. I got an Instagram ad, one teen, $350, and I this morning I just stared at it for like a good 5 minutes, like,
Yep.
this is it. We live in the dystopian future.
Do you know what happened to me last night? After I
No.
finished Solo, I brought up Twitter one more time before going to bed. Promoted tweet for Star Wars Galaxies. Be sure you can join Solo in his friend. I'm like, what the fuck? Like,
Jeez.
specifically a picture of Solo saying, mentioning like from the character, join the characters from Solo, blah blah blah, a Star Wars movie. I'm like, you motherfuckers.
In the 80s and 90s, we imagined that in the future, artificial intelligences would come into their own and they would destroy us with laser guns and bombs and missiles. But no, now they just try to sell us shit like hamburgers and Star Wars Galaxies.
So
That's the takeaway
sneaky.
from the new Cirque du Soleil show. I just saw it this last weekend. I've been thinking about it all weekend. Their new show, Volta. It's what
Yeah.
it's about. It's about
Advertising?
consumerism in the best way
Oh, okay.
possible. Because it's supposed to be like, look, because it's like a cyberpunk future. It's like, look, this is a future. And there's like a dude, I'm not gonna spoil anything, but there's like a dude named Mr. Wow, and he comes out and he's like the symbolism of just like
Mr. Wow.
marketing. He's all gold, he's got crazy gold hair, and everyone else is like, he's ridiculous. And I'm like, he is a god. I want to be him. And he only says like
That's
one
my-
word. He's just like, wow. And I'm like, I'm sold.
I call
bless
it.
capitalism.
That's my next Verona character. Called it. Dibs.
Do it,
Wow.
Mr.
All I'm gonna
Wow.
say is wow.
I mean,
Trillium ring.
he does.
Do it.
As I say, he sounds like a Trilliant character for sure. Yep.
He's great. He's great. And it's supposed to be like, look how terrible this marketing is. And I'm like, I don't even know what he's selling, but I'm buying it. Wow.
Is he played by what, Owen Wilson or?
Wow.
No.
Wow. Yeah.
that'd be
Wow.
great. I just want that now.
Wow.
Him coming out in all gold foil, like looking around a little bit.
Making the face.
Wow.
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 You
All
guys
right,
did a
good.
really good job. Wow.
Wow. Wow.
I love a good Owen Wilson impression. Cheers me up.
Yep. All right. Okay. We could just continue to do this for the next 4 hours, but that's not why people are here. For our collective
it, Adam?
Owen Wilson
Isn't
impression.
it?
I mean, some people are, but there are going to be some people on YouTube who are very angry that this is happening.
Yeah.
So we'll just carry on for their sake.
Hmm.
Sorry, angry YouTube people.
The show
starts
this time. Don't even waste your time with it.
Such a good
Somebody-
impression, though.
Somebody does there's usually someone who will timestamp the YouTube videos with like when when we like moved from the pre-show into the post-show. But there's somebody who used to just summarize the pre-show in a really comedic way. I haven't seen them do it in a while, but it was always really funny. They would just like summarize our bullshit in 3 sentences, and it always made me laugh. So whoever you are,
I like
unsung
those. I think
hero
those
of
are
the
fun.
YouTube comments,
Yeah.
Mhm.
please
I
continue.
miss those. Bronze and Adam said dilly dilly a lot, and Max played the hurdy-gurdy. Show starts at blah
Right.
blah blah. I was like, God bless you.
medieval horseshit at.
It's like the
Yeah.
Netflix like little summary, or like that they give you a little blurb about a show.
Yeah. It's good stuff. It's good. I like that. Yeah. All right, let's do some goals. Let's talk about the thing. Actually, do you folks want to wait until you get your like reason for being on Berkman before we do goals? Because if you write goals now, it'll be like, cool, what am I going to accomplish before the GM tells me what I'm supposed to do?
That would probably make the most sense, I think.
Yeah.
Because
I
right
have
now
a
we're
goal.
sort of
Land
never
on
mind.
Berkman.
Yeah.
That is not, and you cannot get experience for that.
Listen, you don't know. There could be obstacles. I mean, you do know because you're the one who created this whole thing, but we don't know. It'd be hard to land on Berkman.
I could crash the ship.
Adam's like,
True.
you know what? It could be
Bronze's
hard
goal.
to
No,
land on
Crash
Berkman.
on Berkman.
keep saying bad things that might happen. Just keep telling me those things you think that could maybe occur.
Okay, we
If
could
you
land
watch
and
Adam
they could
know,
just give us a bunch of money that has no strings attached.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Mhm. Yeah.
Booker could
Sounds
get
good.
promoted. No, I'm just kidding. That's not going to happen ever.
Right. I like how Nomi
Comedy
wants a
at
bunch of
Teamwork.
money and Booker just wants human respect. Yep. We all have unattainable goals. Okay, so the last episode, we were tying up kind of the previous thing with the ship. The jurisprudence left behind on Hyra, headed for the prison planet or for the prison moon. The terrorist Alexander Carson and the synth was sent down to Hyra to be retired. He wasn't retired on board. So all those terrorists went, and probably during your flight, they were given like a show trial, and House Crux decided what to do with Alexander Carson because she's like a big deal. It's not just like a regular old criminal who is like around. They make a big deal out of it. It would be broadcast. There would be sector-wide announcements like the trial of Alexander Karsten, and whether it was rigged or not kind of doesn't matter because she's like a known terrorist. So, yeah. So she that will have happened and probably still is ongoing as like a media event when you arrive. So that is taken care of. And now you are going to be arriving in the Halesko system, the crossroads of the Empire, and visiting Berkman 3 under some intelligence. And I'll give you a briefing and tell you kind of what's going on with that. But I wanted to just make sure there's no other, because it's 2 weeks, right? You're 2 weeks on ship. We had the chaplain's little event. Booker fraternized with his coworkers.
Hey.
And yeah, and there's been some other like medical and political concerns on board the ship. A lot can happen in 2 weeks. So I just wanted to make sure everybody had a chance to address any other stuff before we kind of go into the briefing Berkman 3 situation.
I do need to quickly roll my HP because I leveled up and we didn't do it last
That is
week.
a great place. That is a great place to start.
So I just need to roll HP.
Out of instinct, I'm checking to see if I did too, so we don't have what usually happens. Oh yeah, I leveled up too. Let's
No, we
figure
did.
that out.
Yeah, we got your.
Yeah, no, we got that.
your straight up.
It's too soon to level up
So
already.
it's, for me, Adam, I'm level 2, so it's 2d6, and then I'm partial warrior, so I'll get 2 +2 for each level, right? So I'd get +4.
Yeah, +2 to each die. So you're rolling.
Yes. So
2d6.
2d6
You just
plus
leveled
4.
up. So yeah, 2d6 plus 4, and you have no
My
constitution
current
modifier.
is
right?
7.
Okay.
I do not, so.
Okay. See what you get.
I'll just do 2d6 and then I'll add 4. Okay, so it's
Mm.
8. So I only got up by 1.
So you gain an HP. Excellent. Okay,
Lame.
cool.
I mean,
I mean,
it's
you're
1
you're
HP.
slightly
you
more.
Didn't have before.
1 HP more.
Yeah,
true.
wait until later when you're limping around with your 1 hit point, and we'll see how lame it is then. Okay. All right. Cool. So you're squared away mechanically. Did you?
I spent my
did you
skill
pick-
points and I took my focus, yeah.
Okay. What'd you get?
So I
when
took
you fo-
Gunslinger. I took Gunslinger as the focus. I invested 1 skill point into psychic stuff, but I haven't spent it yet. And then I bought Talk level 0 and Connect level 0 to
Cool.
make the chaplain less crap at social stuff.
Good stuff. If only it were that easy. If only
Yeah.
someone
Yeah,
would just
nice,
tell
huh?
us, like, "Hey, you
Hey.
got 5 skill points. What would you just like to get better at?"
Just be
Yeah.
better at making friends, please. Here you go.
Connect.
Off you
Can
go.
I just Can I just have this? Can we just make that happen? Just friends? I can just conjure them.
If it hasn't already been done, I'm sure. I mean, they've done Skyrim skits to death for like, you know, live action stuff, but that'd be funny to see how like real life implementation of like leveling up would be. You're just at a party and you like say something witty and it goes, oh, oh, oh. It's just like everyone's like, what the fuck? Like,
Old man comes up to you.
Inevitably, every Dungeons and Dragons or any other role-playing campaign comes down to the mechanical argument of like, how strong would you be if you were a character in this game? And then it involves people hurting themselves trying to lift and push stuff. Like, you have a 1 in 6 chance if you kicked 6 doors, one of them should break open if you have a 10 strength, right?
Yeah.
None of those things work. It's a game. Okay, good. So we have all our stat stuff. So yeah, is there any? Does anybody have any scenes they want to do right now? The situation is kind of like there is that there's a tension that happens on a ship when you're in spike space, when you're in drive space. So you know, some people respond by really focusing on their duty. Some people try to stay busy and do things they wouldn't otherwise do. Like what are you guys up to? Is there anything else that you want to resolve? You can say no. That's fine. We can just start, and it can be April 2nd. Sounds kind of like okay. All right. Cool. So, I guess then we begin. We begin with a shot of a nice wide like space effects shot of the Halesco system. So it's in the southwest reaches of Acheron Row. It is a system that I believe only has one habitable planet. Yeah, it only has one habitable planet. It is technically a moon of a gas giant. That's why it's Berkman 3 and not Berkman. And so we likely see the focus on this gas giant, this big storm planet, and we see one of the moons, the largest moon of Berkman, and in the space we see the planet. And Berkman itself is a arid, rocky planet. It's sparsely occupied, but it has a breathable atmosphere, and so it is able to you're able to sustain life. And I think that we see the ship. We see this purple blade emerge from the side of the shot, kind of slide into orbit around Berkman, and then we crossfade to. I suppose you would be in the office of the lieutenant, and he is giving you your orders. So he's addressing Nomi, but all 4 of you are there, and he's saying. Based on what we've learned from Carson so far, it looks like Berkman was their next target. Carson's been sending encrypted communications back and forth. We've managed to break a few of them, but so far have no leads on who she was sending them to. It looks like they were planning something big on Berkman, but hopefully, now that you've captured Karsten, that won't be a problem. This should just be a cleanup situation. I want you to go down there. We have He kind of rolls his eyes when he says this. Embassy on this planet. The ambassador should be able to take care of you. Go down, meet with her at the port. We'll send you in a shuttle. She should be able to fill you in on everything else. And he looks at the chaplain and he says, Chaplain, I'm sending you along as part of the ground crew because Berkman has a special relationship with the High Church. I think your clerical talents should be of use to the Cirrus.
Of course. I'm more than happy to help. Anyway, I look forward to seeing what the church has been working on here on Berkman.
Good. Cirrus, if there are any resources you need, I'm sending a group of troops down. The mayor has requested increased security. There's been some unrest in the capital. We're going to show the local police how we do things on Hyra. I could spare a few for you if you need them.
Yes, I think any extra security is always a good idea. How many can you spare?
We're going to be acting in mostly an advisory capacity. So 4, 6, maybe. Depends on who you're looking for. If you want senior troops, it's going to be more difficult.
Well,
From behind, the Amira is kind of just going to raise her hand a little bit and say, with all due respect, sir, would it be possible to request Arnahan once again for this mission? She performed most admirably last time she served with us.
Make a talk roll. Make a talk roll with charisma.
Oh gosh.
Silence!
Do not interrupt Yancey.
I low-key hope I fail.
All right. He shoots you a withering look
Oh God.
and then looks at Nomi. Cirrus. And he just looks at
Bad
you
time
like,
to
do you
eat
have a
some weekends."
preference? Yeah, right. Sure. Like, I'm sorry, Yancy, I got my mouth full, man. I know you said not to eat in the meetings, but I am hungry. I came
Long trip to
straight from
Berkman.
Yeah. Can't get over this Berkman wheat thins. They're the best. So trail.
All right. So I look back at him and I say, or I look at the Amira, kind of like judging her, not in a bad way, but just kind of like she talked kind of out of turn, which surprised me. And I say, I turn back to Yancy and I say, yes, I think that is a good idea. She's familiar with our crew, and perhaps having more senior officers along will help this show of what is it called? Like I can't think of the word. We're trying to show off, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean you're going down there because you're gonna teach these people, you're gonna teach the local government how to properly police their citizens. So you're gonna go and show them how to polish their jackboots and swing their batons.
Right.
And it's less a show of force and more of a like, oh, the
Right.
real cops are
Yeah.
here.
And that's what
Research
I said
dominance,
show of, and I was like, but it's not force. We're
Yeah,
not
it's
like
not force.
going down
It's
to,
like
yeah.
I know what you were saying.
Show
like
them how
research
it's done.
dominance kind of
Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
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 I think having some more senior officers along will help us show them how we do things.
And he nods and he says, I suppose it might be useful for you to have a peasant along with you. These people of Berkman, they seem to respect that. Yes, I think that would be fine. I'll have the order submitted immediately. If you need anything else, we're an hour or so out from shuttles, so get your things, visit the armory if you need, and well, good luck down there.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, yeah, I mean, you're dismissed.
Cool.
Okay.
Does he? Do we have any kind of like who we're meeting with, or because he said to go to the embassy? Do we know who?
Yeah,
to talk
you'll
to?
have like a briefing with the relative information. So as you walk out, yeah, everybody would get he basically hits a button on his desk like, okay, well, we had the meeting, let's send them the info, and each of you would have like a packet of various like data. So Booker, you all get a message. You walk out and all of your comm pads kind of like buzz at the same time. Do you stop and look at them, or does everybody go to their room to like grab their stuff, or what do you do?
I look at mine on the way to go pack
Yeah.
whatever we need.
Okay, yeah. So you all kind of split up. Okay, all right. So Nomi, you have you see the House Crux sigil, the jurisprudence like personal seal, and the data pack that you contain gives you basic information about Berkman, about the capital, New Antioch, and kind of what's going on there. And at a basic glance, without digging too deep into it, it looks like there is a fairly public, I guess they would call them like an insurgent group on the planet called the People for an Independent Berkman. They're an anti-imperial terrorist organization with ties to larger galactic terrorism. These are the people that they suspect that Karsten has been communicating with. And so it looks like they were going to bring them equipment, or they've been paying them. But this People for an Independent Berkman are funded by some larger terrorist organization that Karsten was a part of. So these are the people you're going there to kind of like weed out. You're going to be meeting with Herzog. Her name is Crux Ramirez Elise. She is a House Crux liaison. She works in the embassy. It's basically her like home, and she'll meet you at the port at Port Surat and give you kind of local information there. And then there's some basically just like profile on kind of like the modus operandi of the People for an Independent Berkman, the various history of the planet, kind of stuff that you wouldn't have time to dig into as you're just like walking down a hallway. Yeah. So you you take a look at that as you're going. Chaplain, you would get a church like dossier about it. And the most important person, the VIP on in New Antioch anyway, is a woman named Michaela Sinclair. She's a reverend elder. She's the high church priest, sort of responsible for New Antioch. Reverend elder is like a local title. It was adapted for her to like better fit in with the kind of space Quakers that live on this planet. Her title otherwise might be like Archbishop or whatever of New Antioch. Yeah, so she's like an older lady. She appears to be in her 60s, so she's probably like 110. And she has in the official like files, there's lots of pictures of her kind of with local functionaries and like doing church stuff. She's a very public face of the church. And yeah, and there's a footnote there that the church has been working closely with a corporate entity called the Trilliant Ring on the work on a new cathedral. And there is a personal note from someone in the church that basically says like, if you have a chance to visit Berkman, make sure to visit the cathedral. It's beautiful. Just as like an aside, like you have to see it to believe it. And this is just like a little like some cleric or scribe on Ondophiel like wrote this note to you, not knowing who you were, but just being like, "Oh, I wish I could go."
You simply must check it out.
Yeah. Booker, you were sent a boilerplate, like you've seen this document like a million times, a boilerplate like Crux Operating Manual 26754-A, how to operate on a planet, and like just basic like what things to pack and like how to load your pistol and like yeah. So you're just sent this like very like green how to be a police like manual.
Yep. As soon as that pops up on my tab, I'm just like, whoop.
Yeah. Yep. And Kieran, you don't get anything from the ship or from Crux. Like basically your job is just to be there as a diplomat and to represent the Empire on a planet that's not currently under direct Imperial control. Like it's an Imperial planet because they all are. But the church kind of is like babysitting this one. There isn't like a house that owns it. So you're there for diplomatic purposes, and that's sort of a given. But you have a message from your auntie that just says, "I hear you're going planetside. We need to talk." So you got an hour.
Okay. Well then, I feel like my auntie's gonna get me into big trouble. I'm just trying to play nice right now. All right. I'll try to make a point of talking to her before we leave.
Okay, sure.
Fun fact: in real life, when people say we need to talk, I get crazy anxiety.
Yeah,
the
me too.
worst thing
It's
to hear.
it's
Whether
maybe the
it's
worst
like
thing you can say to
a
a person.
manager or a relationship, does not matter. My boss
Yeah.
has gotten the habit of being like, "Hey, we need to chat," and they'd see my face and be like, "You're not in trouble." Like became the follow up.
like,
I needed my
why did
auntie
you
to
say
be
it
like,
like that?
"You're not in trouble."
She
Auntie,
explicitly
what
does
you
not
doing?
tell you that. She just says we need to talk before you go to the planet. And then she puts like dot.
Is there an
dot,
emoji?
dot.
Oh no, not the dot.
No, there's no ellipse. It's just
Yeah.
a period. It's just we need to talk. Period.
Ah, it's still pretty bad though.
It is.
They're
Yeah.
like smiling.
Dot skull emoji. Happy face. Flag of the Soviet Union.
Quick,
I don't
quick,
know.
hit her back with a K.
Okay. New phone, who dis?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So so what does everybody just like go and gear up? I know the Amira has a thing that she needs to attend to.
I'm gonna put my duffel bag together, make sure I've got all the essentials, including the shotgun.
Yep. That's important.
Yeah.
Same.
Okay. So Chaplain, you're in your room. You're packing up. Your comms.
I'd be
like, starts
checking
beep-
if there's any messages. Yeah.
Yeah, it actually starts beeping.
Okay.
It starts giving you like a like incoming call, like beep.
Okay. I'll just finish. Just like reach over, click it on, and just answer it. But maybe not say anything straight away. Just wait and see who speaks first.
Okay. Yeah, there's the voice of a young man on the other end of the line, and he says, Chaplain Valencio.
Yes, speaking.
Hello, Chaplain. I'm calling on behalf of the Reverend Elder's office.
Ah, please, yes. If you need to patch her through, please.
The Reverend Elder wanted to invite you to come and visit her. There's going to be an event. I've sent you all the relevant information. We understand that you're going to be on the planet for some time, working with a group of Crux.
That is correct. I'm currently working with several. Whereabouts would the Reverend Elder like to meet, and at what time?
All the relevant information should be in your inbox. I just wanted to confirm.
Well, thank you very much for the message. I will look forward to speaking with the Reverend Elder immediately.
Welcome to Berkman 3, Chaplain.
Thank you.
Okay.
When it hangs up, the guy never gave his name, so I just want to check. Is there a way that I can tell if that came from a high church source, or would that just come from the planet somewhere?
You can ask the person who
Was that a Crux person?
patched
Was
you
that,
through.
Yeah, I'd probably ask them and just be like, "Can I just confirm whereabouts on the planet did that come from? That message."
The Crux comms officer on the other end says, "Looks like the communication came from New Antioch, Chaplain. It's the capital. Would you like us to trace it more aggressively?"
No, I don't think it is that important. Perhaps a little bit of paranoia on my behalf. Thank you.
Little paranoia is helpful from time to time.
Indeed, thank you.
Okay. So, Nomi, you get back to your room, and you're packing up. And much like the Chaplain, now that you're in system, you're getting all this information. Your data pads are getting your comm stuff updating, and your comm pad, like the Chaplain's, beeps at you, notifying you of an incoming message. This isn't a live transmission.
Okay. Can I answer it
Okay.
or check it?
Yeah, you can take a look. Okay, yeah, it's a text only message. It's from your father. It's from the office of your father. So it's not actually like he didn't personally send it. It's dictated for nominator Soren, and it just says, "Keep me up to date. Stay healthy."
Wait, but didn't I roll really well so that I fooled him so that he didn't think it was me?
Yes, yeah. They're two separate
okay.
sentences. It's like he sent you a telegram. Like,
Okay.
that's interesting. Keep me up to date. Also, stay healthy. Like,
Okay.
it's
cool.
basically it's basically like the closest you're gonna get from him saying like I love you. He's just like, stay healthy. Don't get sick.
Great. Cool. Then I guess I don't know. I archive that. I don't respond or anything.
Okay. All right. Chaplain, your XCOM order for the Triangulum, it comes through. And I assume that it gets sent to Yancey as well, to the Richter.
Yeah,
Okay.
it would pass on. Maybe like I'd add in like a note to Yancey and the Richter, just with a kind of reminder of here is the requisite, here is the excommunication order from my contacts. I hope that this, helps with the, something along the lines of like, I hope this helps with us working together and bringing justice to the enemies of the Empire. Like basically a reminder of, hey, I helped you guys out with this as an FYI.
Yeah, right.
But in a very polite tone. Also, can I just quickly check whereabouts is this meeting? The guy said that or the person said.
Oh yeah, you want to look at your invitation? Yeah. So it's an invitation to a like a dinner, a church dinner that's being hosted in New Antioch at the estate of your handler, the Crux Herzog Ramirez.
Oh, I'd say at the Ramirez Elise.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. So it's a church dinner at her house, and it's in like 2 days.
Right. Perfect. I just wanted to make a note.
Okay. Yep, that's good. Okay. Cool. All right.
I have a question.
Emir. Yep.
How do we get more credits so we can buy more equipment?
Yeah. So if you need equipment, you requisition for it. So you would say like, I need this thing, and if it's on the ship, you'll probably get it. And otherwise, then they'll be like, here's a PO, go down to the planet and find it, and then buy it. What are you looking for?
Okay.
Or do you want to apply for like a budget? Do you want to just be like, I need money, I need a slush fund, I need some throwing around cash?
Both, I guess. We don't have any. I don't think we have, as a crew, I don't think we have any Lazarus patches left because we've used them.
Okay.
I would like
yeah, you want to
have some.
requisition? Yeah, let's talk requisitions. So you want to get how many Lazarus patches do you want?
How many can I have? I don't know, 2.
I want all the Lazarus
3,000.
patches in the whole world. I just want all of them. I want a factory, a Lazarus patch factory. How many do you want?
3.
Okay, 3 Lazarus
We're
patches.
doing.
Shot.
Yeah, I was gonna say if we're doing requests. I'd probably mention to Nomi like getting some lift as well, because obviously that's good for topping us up.
Shopping list. Okay, let
And-
me make a
and
requisition list
Booker?
right here.
Would like to ask Santa for.
Yeah, right. This is the Crux equivalent of asking Santa. You get guns.
Booker puts in like a note, not even like a request, like not to bother, like if there's room in the quote unquote budget for requisitions for a laser rifle. He's not just using a pistol like while everyone else is heavily armed.
I want a spike thrower so I can use
deemed prudent and necessary.
Mag rifle, Booker. Mag rifle.
Yeah.
Listen, I can't push my luck.
Yes,
I
you
got a
can.
suit of spiked plate armor and a personal shield device and 10 rocket launchers. And
No, me.
like a battle
This is
suit.
what comes with it. Everyone wants shit.
Sorry,
I was asking
explosive did
for
Yancey get?
medical supplies so that I could heal you guys when you get into combat. Okay.
You don't need
Wait,
to heal
but-
us if we're properly armed.
You don't need to heal us if we have a slave who knows medicine. I'm gonna ask
is that-
Santa for a new helper.
Is that word again? Hey, you
That
sound like an
word.
Eridanus. I mean, in 24 hours, you will have someone on the planet who will serve you, in addition to your existing servant, if you take her with you. So, yeah, somebody will be like, I hear you need help, Amira. How can I assist you? I'm here on behalf of the church or the Trillion Corporation,
Okay.
whatever.
So can we do,
So
like,
okay, let's talk
actual
about this shopping
requests
list.
that are-
Mine was an actual request. It was a
Yeah, no,
note.
I know. But then we started talking
Like,
about like
like, Anne,
armor and stuff.
Can we
so.
cut the bullshit? All right, 3 Lazarus patches.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. What else do you want?
I guess
Lift
can I
is
carry
more heat.
2 lifts? I don't know how big they are. I imagine just syringes.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. 2 times lift. Okay.
And then
So
spending money. I don't know how long we're supposed to be down there. We need to get like a hotel.
Yeah,
Do we
you
need to
don't. I
be-
mean, you don't know. Like, you won't know. You don't need to pay. You're gonna be living in the like
Okay.
guest. You're operating out of the guest quarters of the embassy, right? You're operating out of the Crux
Okay.
ambassadorial building. So, yeah, you just give me a number, and I will add it to the list.
I don't know how much anything costs.
Well, let's take a look. And there's like actually
I
like
don't know. It
a
would be
table
like a normal
for
amount of money.
right. How much is a banana?
You know?
$10. Let's see. Okay. For example, in these services, the services table, intensive medical care is $200 a day. You could throw a wildly decadent party for 100 credits per person. Bribing someone to forgive you for a minor crime is 50. Bribing someone to forgive you for a capital crime is 5,000. Maintaining a lifestyle, like you'll be given a good lifestyle on your own, but if for some reason you want to like really live it up, like a trillion baller, it'd be 1,000 credits a day for a peerless lifestyle. I don't know, a ground car is 5,000 credits, helicopter is 25,000 credits, etc., etc.
Okay.
So
can I have like 1 billion credits?
I don't think that you have that. That would be like, I don't know. Let's go see how many fat creds House Serpents has, because those are supposed to be about like 10,000 a piece. All right, listen. If you bankrupt the House's Minor, you could get 120,000 liquid like credits right now.
Sick.
But no,
No.
that's fine. Yeah, they're 100,000. So yeah, 1 million. Yeah, right. So if you bankrupt the House's Minor, you could get 1 million credits. They'll have 2 left. But
So
no,
much
I don't think that they're willing
slave
to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can I have like 1,000 then?
Almost definitely.
Or, like-
1,000 would be a reasonable amount.
Reasonable. Okay. I just don't. Yeah, I don't want to be like crazy.
Yeah, I mean, you could overshoot it, and then I'll just tell you how much you get, depending on how much you're gonna have to roll to make this anyway.
Oh.
So.
Great. Cool.
it doesn't actually matter anyways.
2,500, 5,000, 10,000, 2,500.
You
I
did
don't know.
Higher.
I don't know.
These are all numbers.
Yeah. It's hard for me to know what like is a credit in a different universe.
Yeah, like you already have access to like a credit account. This would be like extra money to just have in case you needed something that wouldn't get tracked back to the ship, or like you have a House Crux credit card. You got the black and purple credit card, but also this would be like, also here's a bag of money.
Right.
Yeah, in case you need to pay off like informants or whatever.
Okay. I'll say 2,500. Final answer.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. Okay. And then I believe the chaplain Valencia had a request for a weapon of some kind.
No.
No, he was just being. Okay. All right.
I'm
cool.
currently asking chat if Trilliant will give me a gold-plated Magnus.
Yeah,
It would be
right.
fun
Of course. Yeah.
If like the chaplain requested like very specific specifications for like a high-powered rifle, you know.
Yeah. One that could be used to kill a noble, perhaps. No.
That's not how the Trillion Ring works. What they would give you is 100 loot boxes. One of them has a 1 in 1,000 chance of having a gold pistol in it. That's very much how that would work. Okay, all right. So 3 Lazarus patches, 2 lift ampules, and 2,500 credits.
Mhm.
Okay. So roll. I think administer. That's a skill in this, right? I'm having the same
Yep.
problem Max was yesterday. Yeah. Roll administer with charisma, and we will see how that goes.
6. Oof.
6. Okay. All right. I think that with this, a 6 is probably sufficient. This is not anything out of the ordinary. You're not looking for anything illegal. Yes, that's fine. That's fine. In this case, a 6 is sufficient. So yeah, 2,500 credits, 2 ampules of lift, and 3 Lazarus patches.
Hooray.
Yep. Okay. Cool. So you can add that to your inventory or split it up amongst your friends. And
I can only save 2 of you, so just keep that in mind.
I won't be saved.
I've got 1 las patch and a med kit, which I think I had from the last thing.
Cool.
Okay. All right.
We got a spare one.
All right. So it looks like Nomi goes. You go to the requisitions office. You go to the quartermaster, and they give you the things that you need. You pack your stuff. Booker, did you want to try to separately requisition laser rifle?
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So
He's more putting in a request like, hey, previous engagements have shown that this would be helpful. If not, he
you're
can
gonna make a separate administer and charisma roll. The difficulty will be higher than usual for this because you're going outside of the chain of command, and also you're not there to shoot laser rifles.
Well, now hold on. If this is going to be like a thing that claps back to Booker, like if he knows that this is going to be like you already submitted it. You know what I mean?
No. Yeah, submitting this. No, doing this will not make you like look. It won't make you look like an asshole. It at worst they'll be like, no, go through your commanding officer.
Okay, administer with charisma. Did you say?
Yes.
Boop and boop.
Okay. Yeah. Sure. That's fine.
Sick.
You can take a laser rifle. Yeah, like the reason that you even have to roll is that you're not going down there as like, this is not police action. This is a training mission, and you're going there to liaise with local law enforcement operations. So, I mean, it could and probably will get more complicated than that.
And I
but
no, it's not good. And if it does go smooth with no speed bumps or hurdles, I'm gonna be fucking pissed at him because when I got on a planet, it was a shit show.
Yeah, Nomi's first mission is gonna be great. But the idea here is you shouldn't need the rifle, but it's okay if you like want to requisition one. Okay. All right. Amira,
this is my second mission. Okay, I led the mission where we captured Alexander Karsten. I would just like to point that out.
That was not a planet. You weren't separated from the... Okay.
You don't know what it was like down there.
Even though I was there. Okay, sure.
Yeah. That's fine. Yeah. Amira, wanna go see your aunt?
Yeah, let's do it. Totally not nervous at all. Sure, it'll be pleasant.
Okay, so how do you do that? Do you just like go find her and interrupt her in the middle of whatever she's doing, or do you want to like?
I'm gonna
only have
invite
an hour.
her, so I have the home turf advantage, home field advantage.
Okay. All right. Make a luck save.
Oh God, it's so it
I just wanna
begins.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, God.
All right. She responds to your invitation by saying that she's on shift. She can't like come and meet with you, but she can make some time. Yeah, she's gonna be in the navigation center from this time to this time. Like you can come meet her there.
Okay, I will go meet her.
Okay. All right. So, do you go alone or do you go with your servant?
I'm gonna go by myself.
All right. So we see you. Are you dressed differently than usual for your like? Are you already geared up for leaving the ship? Or do you dress different?
Yeah.
Or...
Yeah. So I'm already wearing I have like my woven body armor. Normally I'm just wearing like my clothing, but this is definitely more of my like tactical wear, I guess.
Yep. Yeah. Field gear.
Yeah. Yeah. Obviously it's not like anything we wore down to oh gosh, what's the other planet? We went to Honglu. It's not anything like that, but it's just slightly more.
Right, yeah.
Not the red murderers.
You don't look like a red murderer.
Yeah, it's not as flashy as my everyday wear. Because I think I talked about it before, but the Amira's like everyday clothing is like a little bit extra, super embroidered. This is still, blue with some gold accents on it, and has like, the little Crux logo, and next to it the Balin logo and all that. And, yeah, but a lot more simple and practical, less flashy.
Okay, all right. So you you meet her, and I think that when you get to the so you get down into navigation, and you're heading towards the like archive room, and the door is shut, and when you go to open it, the little panel turns red and the door doesn't open. So it just goes like boop, makes a little negative boop boop sound, and then like flashes red.
Is there like a communication panel?
Like a buzzer. Yep.
Yeah, just click on that real quick.
Okay, yeah. So it pings the inside of the room. So somebody comes to the door. The door opens. Your auntie is there, and instead of inviting you in, she takes that step like you got to back up, and she steps out of the room into the hallway.
Mhm.
And the
Okay.
door closes. The door closes behind her.
Okay.
And yeah, and she says, "Sorry about that. Security protocols have changed. Captain's orders."
Oh, fair enough. Are you well? How are you doing?
I'm fine. We don't have time for this. I have to get back to work. And you have to go down to Berkman.
Right, you are. Didn't realize matters were so grave. What is it you wanted to speak with me about?
She gives you a look like, when you say matters are so grave, she gives you a look like you don't have any idea what you're talking about. Like, stop flapping your face. She looks at the little patch on your jumpsuit, like sighs frustratedly, and she says, "I've been receiving some communications from home. Things are a bit tense. There's been a request." And she takes out her data pad and kind of like goes to share like peer-to-peer info with you, like not through the ship's comms network.
Mhm. And I'll take out
And
my data pad and prepare to
yeah,
like accept her
yeah.
transmission or
She
whatever.
yeah she sends you a file, um, and she says this imperative comes by way of Hakani, but originates in our allies database. She gives you a look like not these people, but other people, like your friend from earlier.
Mhm. Mhm.
And she says they have a request for you while you are on Berkman. Shouldn't interrupt your business with House Crux.
I'm gonna click on it and at least get a look or skim it. I don't know how large the document is, but
Yeah, so
I don't
you go
wanna
to open it. You go to open it, and she puts her hand in between your finger and the screen. Not
Mhm.
here.
I nod and like kind of put my data pad back into one of my pockets.
Hmm.
Was that all?
She nods.
I like turn to walk away, but then like turn
Hmm.
around and just I thought you wanted me to stay away from all of this. Those were your
I do.
words, not mine.
Yeah, she nods. I do. But sometimes we have to do things that we don't want to do for the sake of our family. I'm trying to look out for you. Be careful. Do what is asked of you and nothing more.
I'm sorry about what I said.
It doesn't matter now, girl.
It matters to me.
Fine. Go and do this thing and keep yourself safe. And when you return, all is fine. All is forgotten. And you can see that she's trying to put up the like, "Ugh, I'm tough. Get out of here. Fuck off," like face, but she's like scared for you and her and like
Mhm.
maybe something else. Like she's just nervous. Something's going on here. She's kind of
Mhm.
trying to protect you from it.
Yeah. I'm gonna before she can I'm not gonna pause with this at all because I don't want to give her an
Mhm.
opportunity like to react. I'm just gonna go in super fast for like a hug and just throw
Okay.
my arms
Right.
around her neck and
Okay.
whisper in her ear, you know, I'll be safe and I'll keep you safe too. I'm just gonna give her a kiss on the cheek and walk away.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Cool. So you do. Um,
Mark looks
Where
evil
do you-
right now.
Mm.
Okay. So, what do you want to do? What do you want to do? Where do you go? What do you do? How long do you save this message, this letter is burning a hole in your pocket?
I'm gonna wait till I'm back in my quarters to look over it, since she kind of said that, don't do this here. Actually, I'm
Okay.
gonna wait till I'm planet side to do it, now that I'm thinking about it.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's what
I'm gonna
saying,
wait until
yeah.
I'm on planet to open it, because there's no rush, and so we're
Yeah.
gonna be there for a while. So I'm just gonna wait on it. I'm gonna sit on it.
You vaguely remember like agreeing to some kind of like user agreement when you first got on the ship and became like a de facto, like a part of the crew that was like,
Mhm.
yeah, privacy is not really a thing for you anymore while you're here. So yes, a wise choice not to look at that. So okay,
Just gonna
all right.
sit on it.
So the crew, you meet in the shuttle bay, and Nomi, as promised, you have waiting for you eagerly and looking forward to another opportunity to bust some heads. You see Arnahan, and she has let's name them right now so we don't forget.
Oh god.
So it's Arnahan.
Name the ones who will die.
I mean, I could name them as they're dying. They could look up and they're through with their blood-stained name tag that says Johnny on it. They could be like, go back to Hyra and tell my sweetheart I love her. Like, no, we could do that, but I'm gonna name them now. So Arnahan is what do we say she was? She's like a sergeant. She's like one step up. She's the person in charge of the other 4 goons. So Sergeant Arnahan, it's the highest rank she will ever hold. She's a peasant. And then her 4 peasant troops. Let me get my name generator out here. Yeah, and none of these people are nobles. They are all ship's serfs, so they technically belong to the captain. But they are under your care, Nomi. So if something bad happens to them, you'll have to file a report apologizing to the captain for breaking her serfs.
Cool.
Okay, so I just need last names. All right. So we have a Private Fry. We have Officer Fry, Officer McGregor. Well, McGregor and Arnahan are like best buds. They're both from Space Scotland. We have an Officer John. That's right, Officer John Singh. And an Officer. Wait. Wow, Officer Doyle. Officer Doyle. I love this guy already.
So they got 2 Scots and an Irishman, apparently.
That just makes me think of The Mask. I just hear that guy, Doyle. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, Fry, McGregor, 3 white people, and a John Singh. Yeah. So yeah, Doyle is the guy who's got like the bristly cop mustache, and his armor doesn't like completely fit. He's used to having a desk job, but he's been in the force for a long time. He got busted back down to officer. He's a loose cannon. So Doyle, Fry, McGregor, John Singh, and led by Sergeant Arnahan. Yeah, so cool. They are waiting for you on the ship, and they salute you when you get to the shuttle. And Arnahan says, right, well, we've got her warmed up for you, so whenever you're ready.
I nod and I say, thank you for preparing in advance. I believe that we are ready now. And then I turn and look at my crew to make sure that they're all ready to go. And if they all nod, then I turn back to Arnahan, say, let's be on our way.
Okay. So you all get onto the shuttle, and we see the outside shot of the Prudence, and then the little atmospheric entry shuttle leaves the bay and heads down towards the arid surface, the rocky arid surface of Berkman 3. So let's write goals. Let's write some goals now, because you're headed to the planet. Would you, Bronze? Do you want to know what this message says before you plan your goal? Like we can say you have an opportunity to take a look at it before you write your goal.
Yeah,
wanna
let's
do
do
that?
it. Yeah.
All right. So you find at some point you find an opportunity to take a look at this imperative.
Mhm.
And yeah, it's not the message is just it just comes like from Hakani, and it's on the like blue and purple kind of, I was gonna say letterhead, but it's not because it's digital. But the background of House Vela, and it's very short. It just says that operations of the Trillion Ring on Berkman 3 have been unusually
I'm watching Mark. He's like paying more attention than I am right now.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, it says the operations of the Trillion Ring and the High Church on Berkman have been unusually prosperous, despite their turning down our offer for entry into the STO. Keep an eye on the Trillion Ring and report back about whatever you see down there. The rest of the organization would appreciate an intelligence report from someone on the ground.
Okay.
So they want you to investigate the Trillion Ring while you're down there. So, what do y'all want your goals for the rest of today to be? Nomi, what do you think? You know?
Going to the embassy. Who are we meeting at the embassy?
You are meeting the interim ambassador and liaison, the Herzogin Crux Ramirez Elise.
Oh, that was the person. Okay.
Yeah.
There's Elise. Okay. Cool.
And the purpose of your being here is to see what you can do to help them with their terrorist problem.
Hmm.
Seeing as how you did
Okay.
such a great job with Karsten.
Yeah. Trying to think of something that's not too open-ended.
Yeah, I mean, it could be as easy as like find a suspect, or like find someone in the PIB, or
Oh, right.
you know,
Yeah.
like something with that. Like you can have your first goal be like get started, like find a lead.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
that's certainly
Sure.
possible.
Sure, that will be.
How do you want to phrase it?
Find either a contact who can give us information, or no, I guess the ambassador would be the contact, right? Get a name and then a location of like where to start, I guess.
Okay. All right. So learn the name.
Learn like the name of a person or a location that we can investigate.
Right. Yeah. Get your first lead. Learn the name of someone to investigate as a starting point, somewhere you can begin this investigation of like what the hell's going on in this city. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Booker, what do you want yours to be?
Ensure that everybody that is on mission with him comes back alive.
Okay. Okay. Chaplain?
Probably something like meet with the Reverend Elder and see if I don't know how to turn into a more active goal. Like maybe So all I know is to meet with them. I don't necessarily know what they want to talk about.
Yeah, I mean, you could have an agenda too, like get her to tell you something that you need to get something accomplished.
Yeah, I guess maybe like speak to the Reverend Elder, or get the Reverend Elder to. Oh God, I'm trying to think. I'm so tired. It's really I'm struggling.
You could ask her to give you like to be real with you, like convince her to give you like privileged information about the situation
About
here,
Berkman.
because she's going to
Yeah,
be like
that sounds
testing you
good.
out, right?
Yeah, that sounds
Okay.
good. Yeah, convince the Reverend Elder that I'm to tell me what's going on in Berkman.
Okay. Yeah, because she's meeting with you. Like,
Mhm.
this is like an official, like a chaplain came and I met with him and it was fine. And then he left and I don't know him. So you want to make a good impression on her
Yeah.
so that she'll confide in you.
Open up and yeah, basically prove my
Right.
loyalty and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, right. Give you a chance to do something of value because you got to start with her. Yeah. Okay. Amira, what would you like to do?
I'd like to probably find a lead on try to find some kind of a lead or informant regarding Trilliant's operations on Berkman.
Mm, okay. Yeah, like find someone who can get you into Trilliant or like find an
Yeah.
angle in on set. Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay. Yeah. Right. Because these are great goals because these are things that you'll be able to do to kind of get the ball rolling on the various threads.
Will we though?
Berkman.
Except for mine. Mine's a dumb goal that well, I was saying in chat too, like for goals, I always find like it's a struggle of like what would Booker actually want to do and what makes sense to get XP wise as a player. And I always end
Yeah.
up like
I
leaning
struggle with
towards,
that
like,
as well.
Ideal, like,
what the
well, and
motivation is of the actual
ideally,
character.
you want the two to line up, right? Where you're like, what do I want
Yeah.
as a player to do in the system in the game today, and how do I justify that as like the character? Because the thing is, if you find that it's like a universal problem where you're like, the things my character wants aren't fun or cool to me, your character is wrong,
Well,
and
you
not
know what?
you, right?
Let me,
Adjusting
that
what
is
they
Booker
want.
wants, but since
Yeah.
that is like a longer term, because we don't know how long this mission is going to take, let's make it something a little more simple of like, do something to prove and establish the fact that Booker is still a good soldier and a valuable asset.
Right. Yeah. Like prove that you're valuable
Prove
above
your
and
mettle
beyond.
and
Like
prove that you're valuable. Yeah. Whether
Yeah.
or not that'll actually happen, who knows? But
And to whom? To whom are you attempting to prove this?
well, I mean, obviously it would be Nomi, but because she's the leader of the operation. But the overarching goal there is to just prove that he, in general, is a good.
Yeah. Proving your value to Nomi is a thing that you can accomplish. I mean, maybe. But proving your value as a person is the kind of thing a human being does their whole life, and then they die wondering if they managed it. So, you know, the game is not likely to last.
Yeah,
I was
but
about to say
was
not likely to
dark.
last the rest of Booker's life, but maybe it will.
It's
so
to
I
prove
think
that he's worth keeping around in the chain of command. You know.
yeah, starting with Nomi is a good call. Let's impress Nomi first, and then work on our value as a person overall.
I'll give you a hint, Max. Nomi doesn't like the passive aggressive attitude that Booker has had. So if you want to prove to her.
So the
that
mission
worth keeping
begins.
around.
It's not so
The
much.
mission begins in
impress
the
Nomi,
offices
it's
the offices of a
more-
human resources officer. You're about to
It's
have
not so
your
much
quarterly
impressive,
review.
Prove that you're valuable as an asset. You don't have to like Booker, but
Cool. Yeah. Can he still get the job done? Is the question.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, and this is another opportunity, right? Because the suspicion was that Booker, and this has sort of started to fade because of your actions, Booker, but the original suspicion was like, keep an eye on Booker because we want to make sure he isn't like Manchurian candidated, right? He isn't like compromised.
that's what aligns with kind of dispelling that sort of thing. You had to know you were going to get some passive aggressiveness from Booker. I think he got off easy, personally.
Wow. Nomi could have. Tell Nomi that. Tell her that next time.
Yeah.
You have the opportunity to be
That's
like,
Max the
"Listen,
player saying that.
I could have been a bigger dick to you. Okay. All right. So the group of you you head into the atmosphere of Berkman 3. So in the distance, in the sky above this place, and imagine like the majority of Berkman's if we shot this TV show, we would shoot all of these scenes like out in the rocky badlands of like Utah, right? Like it would be like big kind of orange yellow like sandstone columns, deep canyons in the surface of the planet. Not a lot of vegetation. Though as you come in, as we see the shuttle break atmosphere and come flying towards the planet, we see a scattering of cacti up on a ridge, and the cacti sort of have their fronds up towards the sun, and we see a lizard like crawl across the ground. And you come in and you are heading towards the port. So Port Surat. Port Surat is a huge, like mushroom shaped, kind of like an umbrella shaped docking port, and there are ships coming and going to it, and we can see above the massive like mesas of the planet and at the scrubland, we can see this huge kind of gold and silver arc kind of heading off in a bunch of different directions, and on it we see grav trains like moving along this arc. This is the main hub of the planet, the transport hub, and so you're heading down towards it. And we can see on as we fly in through the kind of pink of the sunset in the distance up above, kind of omnipresent, we see the surface of Berkman proper, the big gas giant, through the atmosphere. And and so you land, you come flying in and dock the shuttle, and you get out, and it's in a private docking bay. There's a section of the docking bay that belongs to House Crux. It is like leased from the local government, and so you just land there. And and when you step out, you see waiting for you a kind of imperious looking middle-aged woman with black hair, kind of going gray at the temples. She's wearing a modified version, like a hot weather version of the usual like Crux diplomatic uniform. She's holding a data pad, and she is surrounded by a half dozen scribes and clerks and what have you. There's also a priest with her. He's got the black and white collar. And so we see this group of people waiting, and then behind that, just massive orderly operation of a spaceport. So big loaders in the background, moving cargo containers around. It's clear that this place is all going all the time. And so you step out, and she sees you, but she doesn't smile. It doesn't seem to be a way. She just kind of gives you like a faint nod. And Arnahan secures the ship, and her troops get out to kind of like help, get it refueled and everything. And while that's happening, Nomi, do you want to walk over and
Yeah.
introduce yourself? Okay.
Yep. Yeah, I walk over, and whatever is like proper decorum. I don't know if it would be like a handshake or a salute or something.
It varies from house to house. Do you want to try and like read her on your way up and see what she expects?
Sure. Yeah. I do.
Yeah, I mean that's part of the thing, and maybe like the Amira is probably more practiced at this. Like you would necessarily know the correct way maybe to address a like a Crux diplomat on a planet that doesn't belong to them, right? But let's see. We'll have Nomi make the roll just to read her as a person and see what her general kind of like vibe is. So make a notice roll with wisdom.
9.
Okay, yeah. Okay. So she's tense. You don't need to use your telepathy to tell this. She's tense. She's a little bit nervous. She seems like she hasn't relaxed in some time. But not impatient. She's not like tapping her toe and looking at her chronometer being like, let's go. She just doesn't know what to think of you. And it seems to you like the best approach, whether it's the proper etiquette or not, would be a bow. Bow is nice and neutral in the Empire. And you can choose how deeply to bow. The deeper you go, the more you are obsequious to her. So this is kind of like your chance to set the tone.
Okay. Cool. So I walk up and I stop in front of her and I bow. I would say like enough to put her kind of at ease. Like I don't just like nod my head, but I don't also like completely 90-degree bow.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So like enough that she feels like I'm being deferent, I guess.
But maintaining your authority.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So
like
I
like you're in charge here, but I'm still a big deal.
Yeah. And then I straighten up and I say, "Greetings, I am Cirrus Nomi Ka. We are here to assist you. I'm not sure if this is the ambassador or not, so I didn't want to use her name.
Right. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, totally. She yeah, good catch. Just she looks at you kind of up and down like appraisingly. And she says, I thought it prudent to come myself, considering the occasion. We don't often get crux ships here. I am the ambassador. You may call me Elise. She reaches out to like shake your hand.
Cool. So if she reaches out, then I'll shake her hand. And yeah, and I just say, I'm very pleased to make your acquaintance. I hope that our crew may be of some assistance to you during this time. They're just preparing the ship, or I guess the opposite of preparing, closing down the ship.
Yeah, yeah. There's a word for this. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I don't know.
Getting it fueled
and then,
up.
Yeah.
Downloading.
And then we'll be along soon.
Uh,
you said there was somebody with her, like a church
There's
person.
There's a bunch of people with her.
Oh.
So she has
Okay.
she has someone who is like sub vocalizing into like either a cybernetic or like a very small earpiece. And that looks like a personal assistant. There is there's another a person, a man in a slate gray like suit with a little gold triangle pin on here, and he's like standing behind her, just like looking at you. There's a priest, and there's a couple of other like servants who are here just in case she needs them for something.
Okay. So I just kind of look around to see if there's anyone that I feel like she should be introducing me to, or if they're just
Right.
like peasant people.
Yeah,
then
yeah. So when you look and she scowls slightly, like she said something offensive, like she said something that she regrets or she's offended you, and she says, I'm sorry about all this. I'm very busy and I have to keep my staff with me when I travel. New Antioch is not far away, but the train ride, well, you don't want to be out of communication.
I understand.
to be-
I apologize if our
She's looking for your servants, like she's looking past you, like where's your people?
Yeah. I was gonna say, could I have like walked up behind Nomi, like keeping distance so that it's respectful, like letting her speak, but obviously wanting to make myself known that I'm there as well. Just seeing the priest and what I'm assuming is a trillionth person, I would want to be present.
Okay. Yeah. So you walk up and
just behind Nomi, stand a little bit
yeah,
away.
Don't say. Do you say anything, or you just? Stay quiet?
I'd be politely waiting, like until I felt like it was my time to say something. Like it feels like this is Nomi doing introduction, so I think Valencia would just wait.
Okay. Yeah. So she her eyes flick to you, and you notice, Nomi, that they are they're like a sort of lavender gray color, and they're definitely artificial. Like her eyes are cybernetic. You notice the kind of like hard edges of the aperture of her pupil, and so she looks over at the chaplain and then back to you.
I'll bow deeply when she looks over.
Okay. Can you chaplain make a notice and wisdom check?
Okay.
I just want to see if you pick up something. Okay. Yeah. All right. Nomi, you notice her scowl slightly when she looks at the chaplain, just like a tiny bit, just like the slightest raising of like her upper lip. And she says to you, Nomi, she says, yes, your chaplain, of course. Chaplain, have you seen the cathedral yet?
I bow again quite deeply and say, we have just arrived. I was hoping to be able to see it as soon as possible, but obviously we have work to attend to and to make ourselves available to yourself. I am Chaplain Gabriel Valencio. Pleasure to be here on Berkman. I have heard such wonders, and I greatly look forward to working with yourself and with the others. And I'll gesture to the priest and the other fellow with her.
I think that you will find, Chaplain, that there are two Berkmans. The one down here in the dirt, and the one up there in the clouds. You really should see it. I understand. It's quite lovely. I'm sure we can arrange a visit for you.
I will bow and say that would be most kind, but I would like to see both sides of Berkman. I have been many places, and I often find that there is a little bit of life everywhere that we can go.
Yes, I'm sure. And what, Kieran and Booker, what are you doing?
Booker would be probably helping the people, dock and make sure we got the equipment and stuff like that, helping people along, and then he would meet up to where Nomi's at after overseeing and making sure that everybody's, shipshape.
Okay. Yeah.
I'd probably be hanging back a bit because I don't want to step on anyone's toes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So how is it for you knowing that you have like the training of an Amira and like Nomi is meeting with this like foreign diplomat? Like is it like seeing like what your life could have been like if you had taken a different turn, or like what your future might be like? Because this is the job, right? This is the Amira job. Like go to Dirtball, talk to local diplomat, leave Dirtball, go to different Dirtball.
Relief, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit of relief, and situations like that are very stressful. And let's just say I'm like, there isn't any like animosity there because this isn't my mission. So I'm here for support, if that makes sense, which is why I want to not step on anyone's toes and be like, actually, you don't bow to people. You bring your hands together and you say namaste. Like I'm not going to be that person. And like,
Sure, so you're kind of
actually,
I'm
hanging back.
We don't do that here.
So, so Booker, when you approach the Herzogen, actually she like grins for the first time. We see the look go from like the hint of a smile to like she actually smiles for a second when she sees you, and she says, "Cousin." And she like takes a step forward so that Nomi is kind of like beside her now, and she steps towards you. She's like, "Cousin."
Booker like slightly taken back, but then he, shakes her hand.
Okay. Yeah. So you go to shake her hand, and she grabs your wrist, and it's like the handshake is more of a like, hello stranger, I am checking to see if you have any weapons. But the wrist grab is like meeting equals, right? So she's like, this is a thing that you would do. She's being very informal with you and very like, we're both crooks. So yeah. So she comes up and like holds your wrist and like squeezes it. It's not a shake, it's like a squeeze. And she looks at you, and she says, you have no idea how nice it is to see another member of our house. It's been a very long time. Feels like forever.
Well, it's always nice to have some bit of familiarity. Anyways, nice to see you.
I heard about what happened on the Prudence with this Karsten woman. A job well done. The whole house is talking about it. At least they were 2 weeks ago, the last time I got any update. I'm hoping that the Prudence brought some mail with her. Anyway, you must be exhausted.
Yes. Speaking of, Nomi Ka here was overseeing and instrumental in getting us all together to execute on a good job.
She kind of gives you a look like random humility. Okay, sure. So she looks at Nomi and she says, "Yes, I'm sure that the Cirrus was instrumental. Cousin, are those yours?" And she gestures at like Arnahan and the other soldiers who are just like finishing up.
Slave.
Do you say anything, Booker? Or are you just like?
Wait, what did she say?
She's asking.
I thought she was regarding and saying. Oh, she's asking.
No, she's asking you.
Yours.
Yeah, do they belong to you? Are those your serfs?
Oh, nobility. Okay.
Well, I mean, they're wearing purple, and you're a crux, so like.
No. Allow them to introduce themselves.
And she puts her hand up like, "Oh, we don't have time, and I'm not interested in that. I don't want to know your serfs' names. That's gross." And she turns back to Nomi and she says, "I'm sure that you have many questions and much to do. Let's to the train. We have a..." And she looks at her watch. Not long. There's a private car. This way, please.
As
Um,
they walk,
just-
as we're walking, if Anne doesn't do anything right now, Booker's just
I
gonna
was
like
just
hang back a sec to Naomi and be like, "Sorry about that. She's, I'm not a big fan of the whole nobility and all that bullshit."
when she said like let's go to the car, I just kind of nodded and went to like follow her, I guess, and then Booker kind of, I guess, like
Yeah, not like
whispers that
drags you
to
back,
me.
but just kind of gives you like a
Right.
little signal that like, hey, sorry about that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I just give Booker a slight nod.
Okay.
of
So as
acknowledgement.
you walk away, we get the like panning out crane shot of, and as you get smaller, we see the area, we see the ships all moving around in the center of the whole kind of port. There's an enormous hologram, an enormous like gold and ivory, semi-transparent, sparkling, beautiful hologram, and it shows the clouds, right? It's like fake fog or clouds that you're kind of walking through, and we hear chimes and the kind of like hallelujah choir of the ad, and a voice, a godly voice, a deep sort of bass like male voice says, "Heaven awaits you in the clouds," and light like pours out, golden light sparkles forth from the clouds, and as they fade, we see this enormous cathedral, like it's like a space station made out of gold and ivory, and it's got like an enormous cross and all these like minarets, and it's like this enormous beautiful thing. We see ships kind of floating around it, and the music is playing, and maybe there's some little like cherubs or angels like kind of like flying around the outside edges from the clouds, and it says the Berkman Cathedral, a wonder of modern engineering, brought to you by Trilliant. And it like sparkles, and then the ad changes to a built-in holographic director to guide you to the shuttle that will take you up to visit the Berkman Cathedral. And we see that as we pan out, and it fades to our first break. So we're gonna take a break here, and
Cool.
when we get back, we will see what is up down here on the dirty part of Berkman 3. Don't go anywhere.